23 folks on. So thanks everyone for joining us. I hope that everyone is staying healthy and taking care of yourselves and all of your loved ones, especially during this holiday season. Today, we're looking forward to finally sharing an update on our entry into service. There's been a lot of things going on, but I think that we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm also going to be joined by Nirmal from the customer experience side, Dee from design, and Michelle from people and culture and operations. They're going to be joining us to give us some exciting developments as we chart the course for the coming year. I'm sure, thankful, and I think we all are, that 2020 is almost over. It's been a bad year, to say the least. The past 9 months have been very challenging for all of us, given the COVID situation and the tremendous global impact that it's had on all of us. The yard's been closed early this year, and they've had a lot of restrictions put in place. We've been in stay warm mode on the Scarlett for 4 months now, and the Shoreside team has had 2 periods of company-wide layoffs, company-wide leaves, and we're going to have another company-wide leave at the end of the year. But through all this, I think we stayed connected on all our major developments, from testing to new technologies, and we've worked hand in hand with our shareholders and all of our partners to determine the best and safest way to move forward. And I can tell you that everyone remains as committed as ever to this amazing brand and to all of you. And until now, there has been just way too many things that are beyond our control to make any type of announcements about returning to service. But as we now look into 2021, I'm feeling incredibly optimistic that the industry is going to bounce back even stronger than before. And there's been positive news about vaccines, about treatments, and I think that we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And no doubt that we're going to have challenges ahead of us as we move forward, but I think we're well poised for that. So as I speak to you, our teams are scheduling communications about our plans to start service. There's still a lot of hurdles to overcome, but we are setting a date that gives us the best possible chance to actually start operations and minimize any future disruptions to our booked sailors and to our first mates. So we are canceling all of our sailings, including the May 5th sailing on Scarlet Lady, and we're now aiming to be ready for a May 9th entry into service. And ironically, that's Mother's Day next year, so I think mothers all deserve it. We're picking a date that's a bit further in the future, but something that we think is reasonable. We're obviously all eager to get back together, and we're committed to doing this as safely as possible without incurring any unnecessary risks for our crew. So I'm sure you've seen that other brands are moving their launch dates from up into March and to April, and obviously we're not far behind them. Of course, during these times we must stay flexible. So although we have a new date in our sights, and we're going to work really hard to make sure we achieve that, we need to keep in mind that there are still a lot of things that are outside of our control. And I know that this announcement is going to create a lot of questions, so bear in mind that we are planning to have some Q&A sessions over the next couple of weeks to answer any questions that you may have. As always, we will keep you informed of the challenges we face and the decisions that we prepare as we look at this revised sailing date. So in addition to the news today about Scarlet, we're also canceling the Valiant Lady's Mediterranean season through October 17th, as well as the October 24th transatlantic voyage. This is obviously not easy news to deliver. I think I was quoted by saying that it's been horrible, it's been tragic, but it's the right thing to do. And we're incredibly excited about the Med. We look forward to getting back to the Med in 2022, so we'll have to wait until that. But literally, there's just too many things that are happening. The shipyard has been closed. It's delayed the ship. We need to put time between the launch of Scarlet and Valiant to be able to learn from our operations, to recruit the crew that we need, and to build market share. So we think that this is the right thing to do, and we'll have to wait until 2022. But as we commit to the new date for Scarlet, we also have some other positive news to share. And as the first step of getting ready to enter into service, we want to make sure we don't miss out on any opportunities in wave season. We're going to be bringing back all of our shoreside crew to 4 days a week, starting in January, on January the 4th. So I think there's a little bit of applause out there we need. So this applies to all of our folks who are on extended leave, any of the folks who are working 2 days, and all those who are working 3 days. We're all going to be back to a 4-day work week. And we understand that these have not been easy times, and we are very, very appreciative for all of your commitment to not only us but to this brand. And we're also reviewing when can we all get back to a five-day work week, which I certainly want to do. We know that as we get closer to launch, there's going to be a lot more things that we need to do together. So we are hoping that this happens in the first quarter of 2021. But that all depends on a lot of factors, some of which are outside of our control. So there you have it. That's the big announcement for today. I'm grateful to be in a position to make this information known and to help all of us plan for 2020 and beyond. So obviously this has been a bizarre, overwhelming, intense, tough year for all of us. But please continue to stay strong and stick with us. And we are certainly looking forward to showing the world what it looks like to set sail the Virgin way. So with that, let me turn it over to Nirmal, and he's going to give you a quick update on what you can expect in the first quarter of 2021. So Nirmal, over to you.
Thanks, Tom. Hi, everyone. So as Tom said, obviously this last year has been a very challenging year. But I think we've all noticed that although we've trimmed back our activity, we've all accomplished a lot. We feel very strong about our industry. We feel like our industry and leisure in general will come back very strong at some point next year. When exactly, we don't know, but we know it's going to come back strong. I think we're very fortunate in that we are in an industry that has not been permanently impaired by what's happened with COVID. I think we discussed this last time, that there are some industries, unfortunately, that are going to have to change dramatically in a post-COVID world, things like gym chains, for example, where people are used to working at home now. I think for us, we feel very confident that cruising will be back, and be back potentially even stronger once we come out of this. And so as we've been doing that, we've been making sure we've been laying the foundations for our success in this new world that we come out of. We're going to take you through some slides that we actually took our board through to walk our board through how we're thinking about this and align with them on how to make sure we position ourselves for future success. As we go through this and as we reflected, I think Tom and I talked about this the other day, it's astounding the amount of work that this team has accomplished. I know we've been working on reduced hours, we've been working in a remote way, but I think when you really take a step back and think about what we've achieved in 2020, it's astounding. So congratulations to everyone, and thank you all for the tremendous work we've put in, which has really laid the foundation for us to really now launch into 2021 and take advantage of the market coming back. So a couple of ways to think about this for us, just to give you all a sense of how we're thinking about this. Really 8 key pillars of our strategy going forward. We are working very closely with the marketing team on our segmentation. We know that cruisers love the Virgin brand. We know that non-cruisers love the Virgin brand. And so we've always, as a business, wanted to target both those groups of people. However, we do know that cruisers are resilient and cruisers will come back very quickly to cruising. Non-cruisers, maybe a little bit longer. And so initially, nothing changed in terms of our product or experience, but we will look to segment a bit more into cruising audiences. You know, some interesting stats that we've had along the way in the research we've done. Leisure spend is the #1 thing that people miss the most across all demographics. 59% of people say that's the thing that they're waiting to spend money on. People are waiting to get out, they're waiting to go on vacation, and we're well positioned for that. The other statistic that's really compelling that we've seen is that cruisers have said that as soon as the CDC says it's safe to come back, they will come back. And more than 50% of existing cruisers say they will be back cruising as soon as the CDC says it's safe. So we think there's a very good opportunity to go after cruisers quite hard. Our travel agent partners will be critical to our success. And so I'm very proud of the work that the team has done. Diana, Jess, John, Shane have done a tremendous job in positioning ourselves for success with our trade partners. We launched our Brilliant to Do Business With campaign, which is a great campaign that we're seeing great results from. Within that, we have an industry-leading set of policies around booking, around payments, around NCFs, which are non-commissionable fares. and a brilliant business with 16% commission now, which I think is really positioned as well with the trade. 3 and 4 are inherent to us as a company. We do think we are strategically positioned to come out well on the other side of this. We do have ships that are mid-sized ships. We're not giant ships. We have a short Caribbean product. I think what you're going to see initially in a restart plan is a focus on more shorter sailings. I think the CDC will ask for that. But I also think consumers are also going to look to something a little bit more short, a little bit closer to home as they build more confidence back in the industry. And so we're well positioned with that. We're also seeing tremendous activity out in 2022. People are looking to book vacations further out. So we're putting more inventory on the shelf. But thank you to all the teams who've helped pull this off. It's a critical part of our success going forward. And I think adult only, adult only is one of our key differentiators. I think it will continue to be an important differentiator going forward. For those of us that have young kids, we're all getting used to distance learning. I've been joking that we should all distance ourselves from learning and go on an adult-only cruise. So hopefully Nathan will take me up on that tagline. I don't know if he will or not. LV seems to like it. So hopefully Nathan will agree that it's a good one, but he never likes my ideas anyway. So I'll keep trying. Voyage well, a big part of our success going forward. It is a tremendous amount of work that the team has put in to pulling this off. This was pulled off in record time. Thank you so much. And we're seeing a lot of great success with this in the market. Nathan is getting a lot of attention in the marketplace for this. But it's not really about marketing, right? It's about how do we keep our crew and our sailors safe. And I think we all feel very confident in what we've put in place to make sure that we can keep everyone safe as we get to the next step here. Next slide, please, Alice. The other big part of what we're focused on is making sure that as we go into wave now, as we see demand start to pick up again, that we drive consideration, conversion, and cash. The marketing teams, and in particular, have been really helpful in making sure we get all our tools in place to do this. Nathan is going to have a very targeted marketing message focused on value, focused on the experience we offer, and focused on safety. We think it'll resonate well. We know that consumers are in deal shopping mode. I'm sure all of you are as well. You don't typically want to buy anything right now unless it's a deal. And so we are making sure we position ourselves for that kind of behavior, but making sure we carefully position ourselves because we are a premium brand and we think we're worth it. And so we have done some very thoughtful things in how we present a more value-oriented offering. And I think so far it's been working well. Conversion is something we're always very focused on as a brand. I think initially conversion is something that will be measured across a spectrum of leads and getting people excited about the brand all the way down to bookings. Bookings, we're still a bit uncertain of what exactly will occur. Typically, in the way this industry works, as you all know, is wave is a big period of booking activity. We're a little uncertain as to how much bookings will come, but we know there'll be activity on the conversion side, at least higher up in terms of lead generation. So we're very focused on that. And then thanks to all the teams, I know this was a heavy lift in a reduced working environment, but we've put in place some basic promotional tools that are known to work and drive cash and bookings. And so we have all that in place ready to go for Q1. So we're very excited about that. Get to Green has been another initiative that I know that a lot of you have touched this initiative. It's been something that I've been very, very focused on. As you all know, we need to make sure that we are ready to bring sailors and crew back to our ship. So our IT platforms are ready to go. Frank and Andy have those in the tail end now in the last mile of our sprint. We have all of our crew ready to go. I think we feel very good about where we are now in terms of being ready to operate going forward. So thank you all for that. Number 7, cost. I know it's not a great word. I know we don't like talking about it, but I think we want to thank you all for all you've done to bring down our cost structure. Alan and team have done a wonderful job in leading us through this. I think our shareholders and our board have been very impressed with the cost-focused mentality that we've all had. At the same time, we managed to achieve things and not stood still. So thank you as much for that. We've had a lot of support from our shipyard and from our lenders. Just last week, we finalized some transactions with them. A huge show of support for Virgin Voyages. They are investing in us, they believe in us, and are showing that in terms of offering deferment of ship payments and deferment of some of our lender payments, which is a huge show of support for us as a brand, and we're very thankful for that. But,
Nirmal, just let me,
Yeah, sure, please.
I don't know that everybody appreciates the volume of work that has gone into that, which is moving ship payments, changing debt payments that we have and working with those companies to take care of that. and additional investments from our lenders and renegotiating all of the deals that we have out there. But we are able to do that and effectively, generate, hundreds of millions of dollars of funding that we need in order to sustain the fact that we haven't had any revenue in 9 months. So it goes without saying, tremendous amount of work that's gone into that. So thank you all. And I think it's good that you have a sense of all this work that's gone on to make sure that we are focused on keeping the business viable for the long term.
Yeah, and I think also partners who are willing to invest in us as well, Tom, right? Who are supporting us and see the light at the end of the tunnel with us, and so willing to back us as well with deferments and other things like that. So it's a huge show of support for us as a company and for you as a team.
And Nirmal and Tom, can I just say from the workforce, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
You know what I say, Jose? Never underestimate the value of sucking up. So keep going.
I learned that lesson a long time ago.
Yeah, Jose's worked with Tom for a long time, so he knows all the tricks. That being said, I think we are obviously very confident about us coming out on the other side of this very strong. There is still some short-term uncertainty though, so I'll still encourage you all to remain disciplined, remain cost-focused. It's an important part of retaining flexibility. So let's keep our eye on that as well. I'm sure Alan will give me a big shout out for saying that. So I know he's very focused on it. And I think the last thing to focus us on success is to really focus on the collaboration and focus on the team that we have. We have a tremendous group of people. We have a tremendous team. I think we've built a wonderfully collaborative culture that really takes the best of all of us, all the diverse opinions we have, the diverse backgrounds we have, the diverse experiences we have, and really blend that together to create an unbelievable brand, an unbelievable sailor and crew experience. And I think that's going to be a continued strength of ours going forward. And I'll encourage you all next year to double down on that. We are going to have to move from this state of being idle into full operation very quickly with real people and real customers and real crew that we have to make sure we manage and do well. And so this collaboration, this culture built on product ownership, which we'll talk much more about next year, culture built on change management, where we're controlling change, where we're doing the right work at the right time, is going to be critically important. And I think from Tom and myself, thank you all for everything you've done. We love working with you all. We love this brand. I think one team, one dream is way more than a kind of a piece of some words on a piece of paper. I think we all feel it every day. And I think next year, one team, one dream will be a core part of how we're going to be successful. So thank you all. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, well, thanks, Nirmal. It's great to see these developments on the horizon, and I'm sure looking forward to the new year. So our next speaker is someone who you haven't seen in a long time. I think the last time we heard from Dee was when we were on board the ship and we were debuting the Creative Uniform Fashion Parade. So Dee is going to give us a quick update on what's going on with Terminal V. It's supposed to be Terminal H because they're in alphabetical order, but we've decided to change it and rename it Terminal V. And a lot of the fun stuff that's going on in Miami. So over to you, Dee Super Duper Cooper.
Thank you. There is, I sort of did a woo slide. There is a parallel universe going on, guys, where the world is continuing without COVID, strangely, as it feels to all of us in the cruise industry. And the construction of Terminal B has started basically January, February last year, and is sort of motoring along with the aim for, well, they're on track to complete it in October to hand over to us. So I just want to remind you a little bit about Terminal V, because I know we haven't talked about this for a long time, but we've got the best site on the port island, basically. And I know Alex and I know Alfie can actually view it from your window, can't you guys? You actually have a time camera, don't you, taking photos of the site all the time. So we're on this amazing location, and however much Michelle, Jose, Alex and the rest of the team worry about making it the best terminal ever, from Nathan's point of view, we know this is just a huge advertising site. So this really tells everybody that Virgin Voyages is in town, and is very, very exciting that it will be ready for us to use next November. So just to remind you of the sort of concept, it was all around the Palm Groves, the history of Miami and Miami Beach. It was also about being a sort of smaller terminal that sort of showcased the ship as well. And we all, boy, do we know first impressions count with the Virgin brand, very especially. You know, we've got to strike it big and inspire and make sure those sailors really love sailing with us. So going forward, Alice. So this is a site that Alice has actually got on our portal. So you can see this on our intranet website, the construction that's going on there at the moment. Basically, for those that care about or interested in construction, all the pile foundations have been laid, and they're actually now doing the waterside king piles, as they call them, when they lay them at sea. And I think they've done about 9 of the 56. All the permits are in for submittal, so everything that we have to do for smaller buildings, these giant buildings have to do. Although, you know, this project has very much continued through COVID, if you can imagine, the poor old Port Island has been a little bit of a ghost town for the last few months with all the cruise lines not operating. So we did stand back and look at this project and work out how we could reduce costs on it. So we have done some sensible value engineering, my favorite activity, working out how to reduce costs, but still keep an amazing customer sailor experience. So we cut costs by about 16.5 million. And as you can imagine, Tom really made sure that we were doing that as strongly and as effectively as we could. And then the other exciting news is that we're still on track. We fingers crossed, everything crossed. Jill heard yesterday we're still on track to hit our lead goal. We're all slightly, you know, waiting to have that confirmed, but the signs are good. We had enough credits in the system that we believe we can hit that. But we're having a meeting later this month or early in the new year to confirm it. So just to remind you, sort of, this is what the site is. So you sort of come in the main entrance, you go up and up and up on the sort of right-hand side of the building. And on the left-hand side of the building, you basically disembark down into baggage claim. And there's 3 stories. So that sort of gives you just a general overview of the building. So I'm just going to show you some photos of the site. So if you were standing in the entrance, this is what the site looked like last Thursday. So you can see they're rapidly putting up all the structural walls and sort of all the lift cores are going in, the escalator cores are going in. So you can see the site is beginning to come to life. And we'll update these photos almost like we did for the ship. So you'll see them change every time. So the waterworks, the waterside works, as we mentioned, have all started. You can't really see it. You see this huge auger where they're drilling into the sand underneath to extend out the pier side so that it sort of lengthens the dock for our length of ship. As you can see, this is looking back down towards the bridge. So that whole of that front wall elevation that blocks off the baggage area and the port offices is all, you know, basically built. And then this is one of those elevator escalator pits that is also constructed right in the main entrance. So it's very, very exciting. They're motoring on. They're doing a great job. There's a few of us going on site tomorrow with the port and with Suffolk, the builders. So we're all very excited. There's other things that are happening on the project as well, such as art in public places. So what happens with any public project in Miami-Dade, we have to give a proportion of the project capital to art in public places. And we briefed the artists about 2 months ago, and we're looking at concepts over the next month. So we'll have big digital art on these big TV screens, and we'll also have some static wall art. So we have like an Ahoy wall, and we have some lighting and some backdrops that they're creating for us. So we'll share those with you when we can. So yeah, it's all happening on the construction site. I know they're very, they are very focused on keeping their workforce safe and, making sure that everything still continues in this COVID world. And I actually was very impressed with the quality of sort of site management. So I think it's very exciting. It's nice to talk about a project coming to life, and that will be delivered for us, to open in November 21. So a little bit of good news and exciting future from a terminal point of view.
Thank you, Dee. It's it's great to see that we're continue to make progress while everything has kind of we've had to push the pause button. And I'm really excited to going there myself. I'm actually going tomorrow.
You are, yeah.
Meeting with Port and to have lunch over there and see the facility. I wanted to just also stress how difficult it was. We went into, and Dee and her team led this process of, we negotiated $16.5 million reduction in the scope of the project, and the construction had already started. So we had to really leverage our strengths and make them believe that we were going to cancel the project, and we perhaps would have. But we were able to save a significant amount of money that in turn we'll be able to reduce the amount that we have to charge our sailors in the future. So thank you again for that. Now I want to turn it over to Michelle, and she's going to give us an update on the people and culture, and the crew experience as the year kind of draws to a close, and also give a quick update on what's happening with Virgin Stars for 2020. So Michelle, over to you.
Thanks, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Before I get into some of the updates, I just wanted to echo some of the words from Tom and Nirmal as well. 2020. First and foremost, thank you for your patience, your support, and probably most importantly, your trust. Your trust in all of us and us as a brand. It's been a challenging year, and I know that sounds like a really big understatement for personally and from a business standpoint. Everybody has their own story and the impact that the last 9 months has had on all of us. But through it all, you stuck with us. And we're incredibly, incredibly grateful that you've done it. It really is, at the end of the day, when we get into next year, we're all part of something really, really big here, and all of you should be really proud of what you've accomplished this year, individually, and then collectively as a group. As a team, we showcased Scarlett last year. We got our crew home safely throughout the year, and we still have a face of to our first mates and sailors. We have our Sailor Services crew, who delivered rockstar service. Even though we're not operating a ship, we are still operating, and they've been taking calls and emails and chats from all of our sailors and first mates, and they'll do it again today. They'll be at the top of their game. So just a huge shout out to everybody for the work that you've done this year in really challenging times. You should be really proud of what it is that you've accomplished, and I know that I'm incredibly proud to be a part of this resilient crew, and can't wait to launch our lady ships next year. All right, so P&C updates. First and foremost, for our seagoing crew, we're going to do things a little differently as we go into recruitment in 2021, and we're going to be doing it virtually. Yes, we've had to adjust for some of the newness that's happening in the environment around us. So as we look to welcome everybody back, we'll be welcoming even new people and more people back next year as we kick off our virtual recruitment tour. Also for our seagoing crew, we'll be launching the Crew Navigator, which is our self-service portal, and then our Learning Navigator, which is our learning management system. So keep a close eye out on the emails that will be coming through our Facebook pages, and then when we launch Workplace as well. A lot of work has been done in order to get the MXP portal up and usable for all of our crew as we get ready to welcome everybody back. For our shoreside crew, as Tom mentioned, we are doing everything we can to get our crew back, and I know that Nirmal reminded us all that from a cost perspective and the need for all of us to really be diligent in reducing costs, but the work that we've done this year in order to maintain costs and really reduce where we can is one of the reasons that we can now start to get people back to everybody back to their 4-day schedules beginning in January. So keep up the great work and what you're doing as teams to make sure that we're maintaining costs. I think the next slide, Alice. Oh, okay. Nope, not yet. Sorry. Return to office. I know that we've been getting a lot of questions regarding what does return to the office look like as we go into next year.
This is what it looks like. You see, I'm in my office.
Yeah, yes. People are in the office. The office is open. We have an amazing space. And I'm in there, not this week, but generally I'm in there a couple of times a week, and I love being able to walk around and see anywhere from 25 to 30 of us on any given day who are using our beautiful space to do their work in. So if you need that space, come on in. But as we go into 2021, we have between Alex and Taylor and Tara and Zach, the group is working on what does return to work look like for us, or return to office look like for us. So keeping an eye out on local and state guidelines and protocols that they have. Will be rolling out in January what a return to the office looks like for us, and then working with the leaders and the teams as to what a really good schedule looks like for getting folks back to working collaboratively in the office. So more to come on that. Time off and payroll. So just a quick update on that. We have, as everybody knows, we have one more week of our unpaid leave coming up in 2 weeks' time. Use that time. I know it's off and I know it's unpaid leave, but we all get a break. Just like we did over the Thanksgiving holiday, we're going to have a break over the Christmas holiday. Use that time to spend time with your family, spend time with your friends in a very safe way. But we have a lot of work to do in 2021. So use this time to recharge and get ready for all that's gonna happen for us in 2021. If in fact you have vacation time, go ahead and use what you can. Some of us still have banked hours from the last year. That will go away at the end of the year. So if you can use some of that over the next couple of weeks, please do so. And then make sure. Oh, that's right. I knew that Isabel had one more item for me, and that was update your contact information. So make sure that by the end of the year, everybody goes into red to update their contact information, because we're getting ready for W4 distributions in January. So we need that information to be correct. And I know some folks have moved some locations, so we want to make sure that we have the right address for you. All right, make SHIP happen. Yes, I know that some of you are rolling your eyes, but the majority of you are really happy by Make SHIP Happen, because it's always an opportunity to take it to look back and reflect on everything that we've accomplished personally and collectively as teams. So make sure that you get into red, you complete your Make SHIP Happen reviews and accomplishments. And we should have all of that done over the next week, probably week and a half, because we want all of our leaders to close out their conversations and complete those evaluations by December 18th. So take the time. We've done yeoman's work this year. A little crazy, but we've still done the work. So let's make sure that we get that captured. And it just gives you a time to think back on the year and remember all the great work that you've done. For those crew that are on extended leave, I know we've got this question as well. When they get back in January, they're going to be able to get that done as well. And really great news on the horizon. For those of you who rolled your eyes when I said Make SHIP Happen about the process, we are simplifying that for 2021. And we are really going to move into a culture of just documented discussions. It really is about making sure that we're having leader crew member conversations about development And we're going to move Make Ship Happen as more of a discussion-based and feedback-based tool. So more to come. We'll roll that out in 2021 and share those details with you. All right, crew experience. I'm Alex, Taylor, Zach. The team has been really working to make sure that we had great experiences for our ship, our yard, and our shore teams. So they're hosting crew experience activations on board the ship in a couple of different locations. And they tell me that anywhere from Hanukkah dreidel games to ornament decorating and tree lighting, they'll be doing some really great activities on board Scarlet over the holidays. The yard team is also working to create some opportunities for after work bites and bevies. So be on the lookout for those dates and details as well. For our shoreside crew, both in the office and virtually, we're creating some opportunities to celebrate the holidays to make sure that we're all feeling very festive. And while we can't be together, like our ship and our yard crew, our team has been getting really creative in spreading some holiday cheer throughout our 12 days of wellness challenges. Hopefully all of you have been participating in those. I've got some new recipes that I get to
I heard that Nathan was going to invite everyone over to the Standard Spa, and he was going to give every complimentary massage. Is that what I heard? Is that true?
Yeah, Alex is working on the date for that.
No, you actually have to live in Miami, so people from up north, unfortunately, are not invited. We're keeping a bubble down here because
I still have an address down there. I'm inviting myself.
Yeah. All right. So 12 days of wellness is underway. In fact, today is Workout Wednesday. So we invite everybody for 50 at 5, hosted by Zach. Occasionally, they have the guest host. I participated last week, and we took it beyond 50 squats, and we went into push-ups and lunges. I'm focusing on core today, so come on out and join us.
I'm sorry, boss, but Nathan has raised his hand.
Oh, raising.
I was asking what the 50 things were, but now you've gone into, well, it's push-ups or squats or whatever. That all just sounds very, very overly energetic. So I will be taking 50 at 5 as well, but I will be doing 50 sips of a drink. So you're welcome to join me.
Well, join us. And you can watch in the fun, and we can all watch you take your 50 sips of a drink.
Sounds creepy watching, Michelle. I don't know what sort of person you are, but anyway.
Well, we just like to see your smiling face, Nathan. So
come
on out. And we've got some save the dates coming up. So December 14th is our next dive into different thought group discussion. December 15th is the next Crew Connect meetup with Jill and the team. And then finally on December 16th, we have the Jingle Bell Jog. 5K. So for those of you who did our turkey trot last month, it's very similar to that. And hopefully we'll get a few more people to participate as a group or on your own, and then send in your post your photos for it. So Alex and Taylor looked really excited out there.
Sorry, just another question, Michelle. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you said that was a Jingle Bell jog of 5 kilometers. I'm in America. Could you please translate that to miles for me so I understand what that is?
Yes, it's 3.2 for you.
Right.
3.1.
Oh, sorry, 3.1. Thank you. I log 0.1 extra then whenever I do that.
And for the record, Nathan, you do mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're right. Actually, yes.
All right. So diving into different. Earlier this year, we made a commitment, made a promise to all of you to do better in our diversity and inclusion efforts. Not just to talk about it as a one of our brand pillars, but to really lean in and make sure that this was something that we were listening to you. We were providing educational opportunities, and most importantly, we were providing engagement, and that all of us had the opportunity to participate at the level that we needed or felt passionate about. Every month, led by Alex and then supported by Nirmal and Nathan, they've been doing a really great job of coming up with what are the themes? What do we want to offer, and how do we make sure that we take what we're hearing from all of you and making sure that that's in the lineup, and that we're providing the things that are most important and that you're most passionate about. So every month, we continue to have thought group gatherings. These are open to everybody. And we encourage all of our crew to join in on the conversation. Hearing what you have to say then helps us determine what is the what do we want to provide from information, and then finally what are those engagement opportunities. And it really in this virtual world, it'd be a lot easier if we're all together in the office, but in this virtual world, we're really working hard to keep everybody updated and informed as best we can. So always go back to Workplace and then our Facebook page, and look on our whereabouts calendar in Google for the happenings that are going on. Obviously, based on what has transpired over the last few months, the focus has been on Black Lives Matter and those injustices that we all had the unfortunate of witnessing. But our crew is passionate about making sure that all crew feel represented. So make sure that you're joining the thought discussions so that we can hear you as well. We also have the book club. So in addition to opening important dialogue, we are inspired our crew to educate and enlighten themselves through our Dive Into Different book club. We started with Biased, and I've got to be honest, this was a couple of months ago. I literally just finished the book this past weekend. So Alex, can you please host a one-on-one book club discussion for Biased, because I'm really excited about it and I want to talk about it, but I know that I'm a couple of months behind everybody else.
Definitely, we'll do that.
Thank you. It was a really good read about the hidden biases and prejudices with a strong foundation and studies by social psychologist Jennifer Eberhardt. So if you haven't read it, you still can participate and go ahead and read the book. Yesterday, we wrapped up our second book, Cass. So if you missed that session, you can check it out what the group discussed on Workplace or in our VV crew Facebook. And next up, Alex tells me we were putting down the pages and reflecting on a 10-episode online video series. So for those of you who have been, the thought of actually pulling out a book or listening to several hours of an audio has been daunting for you. Now we're going to go into online video series. And it's Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. In the series, Emmanuel Acho, he's a former NFL linebacker, creates a dialogue that is honest, straightforward, and accessible to those seeking answers. So Alex tells me. And our team will be sharing episodes online every week. So make sure to keep an eye on Workplace for those updates so that everybody can participate. Now, finally, Virgin Stars of the Year. So with everything else, we've had to adjust the way that we celebrate. You've had to adjust. We as a company have had to adjust celebrations, and Virgin Group has had to adjust. It would be really great to end 2020 with a huge celebration of our stars across all of our Virgin brands. But the reality is, if you are here today, it speaks volumes to the work that has gone in all of 2020. And it really became apparent as the Virgin Group and working with all of the brands was thinking about how do we celebrate all of you for 2020. It really wasn't about picking out or selecting, just one, two, three of our most epic crew members from each of the brands. Everybody in the Virgin family has done an extraordinary job this year. So rather than the big celebration that we weren't actually going to be able to have or delaying it or deferring it, the Virgin Group came up with a really great idea. And they've put together this video that they're going to play. I think Alice is going to push play on to really recognize and say thank you to all of our crew members across all of our brands for the work that they have done, throughout 2020. So we're going to hit play, and I personally thank you for all of that work. And here's the video.
I hope that you and all your families are keeping safe and well. Well, we began this year with big plans to celebrate Virgin's 50th birthday, unaware that the world was about to face the biggest crisis we've seen in the lifetime of our brand.
Each one of us has experienced new challenges at home and at work.
Live on the water.
Remember that tough times don't last,
Tough people do.
Difficult decisions have been made as we've worked through this crisis together. But throughout it all, Virgin people have demonstrated compassion, resilience, kindness, and a truly innovative spirit.
How to make a ventilator quickly that can be produced in mass.
We've seen Virgin people in businesses spanning aviation, banking, space, health and wellness, media, philanthropy, and more undertake really generous and impactful work.
You have found ways to pivot and adapt in these unusual circumstances to provide essential and sometimes life-saving services to our customers, communities, and society. We are truly grateful for the huge efforts the entire Virgin family have made this year. And we're looking forward to a time, hopefully not too far in the future, when all of our businesses are fully back up and running, delivering the extraordinary experiences our customers love.
Virgin people are at the heart of everything we do. You are the essence of the Virgin spirit. You make every experience extraordinary. And we hope that you have found an even stronger connection to the Virgin family this year. A family that comes together and supports each other during difficult times. That feeling of belonging is extremely important, and we hope that everybody can feel that they can be themselves at work all of the time. Over the last few months, the Black Lives Matter movement has made us refocus our efforts on how we can be truly diverse and inclusive. Thank you to all of you who have pushed this to the top of the agenda, and for those of you who have been working hard within your businesses to make this happen. We will continue to welcome and include people from all backgrounds and ensure that well-being is a core part of our people promise. That is a fundamental part of our business.
It's a simple act that can make such a big difference right now.
Addressing the climate and environmental crisis is also an essential part of all of our futures. We want to thank you for everything you are doing, from setting your companies on a path to net zero greenhouse gas emissions, cutting out single-use plastics. We all have a responsibility to do our bit at work and at home. And I know so many of you are taking action every day.
Climate change should be used as an opportunity to tackle many of the things in our society that already weren't working.
Most of all, we want to say a heartfelt thank you for doing such an incredible job this year.
You have all been stars, and you should feel incredibly proud of your achievements. And as a result of the efforts of each and every one of you, together we'll come out the other side of this stronger than before. We hope that as we near the end of the year, you're able to take some time off and look after yourselves and spend some quality time with your loved ones. And all the best for 2021.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Michelle. You have anything else for us, Michelle? Or is that it?
No, that was it. Other than Sailor Services, we've got a 13-minute hold going on.
Whoa.
Back
Okay,
to work.
we've got to get back to those phones. Well, thank you, Michelle. And to reiterate what Richard Hawley and Josh Bayless said in the STARS video, I really like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you. It's been an exceptionally testing year, to say the least, and obviously you've shown us just how resilient, professional, and passionate all of you are time and time again. So I'm incredibly proud of everyone and what we've managed to achieve during these very difficult times. And on that note, I would also like to wish everyone a safe and happy end to this year. I hope that you'll enjoy some downtime with your loved ones and that we will all rebound into 2021 rejuvenated and refreshed and with the same energy that we started 2020. So you remember back a year ago. So as you've seen today, we've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that our future looks very bright for all of us. We have a solid plan in place. Our investors remain committed to us and to our vision, and you've shown us time and time again how passionate you are to continue to create an epic sea change with us. So great things on the horizon. Here's to a rewarding 2021. I look forward to being able to do this with champagne, with all of you in the very near future when we launch Scarlet. But happy holidays and cheers. Take care.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye, guys.
Good luck, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Happy
everyone.
holidays, everyone. Bye.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye, guys.
Happy holidays.